There was land on the edge of nowhere, and a voice on a glowing screen said, build it outside the system, said, this is what freedom means. They came with hope in their pockets and stories they wanted to prove. A crowd could feel like a family when everyone believes the same truth. So they called it the community, they called it a stand, but a vision gets heavy when it's held in one hand. Welcome to Tere, where dream meets the ground, where the words sound louder than the silence around. You don't see the fault lines till the camera rolls back. This ain't the promise they sold you, but it's the story after the ad, after what bears in the comments. There were rules without names. Loyalty felt like shelter till it started to feel the same. Every joke had a lesson, every line had a side, and if you laughed at the wrong moment, you were standing outside. Who decides what's betrayal? Who decides what's a test? When a movement calls itself truth, what happens to the rest? This is Tere, after the stream fades out, after the leaf stays quiet and the believers sort it out. You don't leave with nothing, you don't leave unchanged. This ain't the myth they handed you, it's what remains.
I wish that I could know why you decided to show, why you didn't just go, why you still call her Jane Doe. She was 13, not yet 16, not even a tween. Her friends said it would be funny if she met Epstein. He got a gig for the weekend, said she could bring a friend, said he needed someone who looked young, a blonde in a wig. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend, and her friend thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend, and her friends thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And they said they all met a nice man, and his name was Prince Andrew, and she thought he was harmless, so she went with her friend, and her thought he was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought he was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she met a girl named Katie Johnson, and she looked just like me, and they thought it was harmless, so they went with their friend. And I thought it was harmless, so I went with my friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And her friend's friend thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And her friend's friend thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And her friend's friend thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was. You're caught in a lie, and I know why. Tangled truths won't fly, you can't deny. Think you'll vanish, but have no fear. You're bound, you're found, you're here, my dear. those webs of deceit. Unravel your lies, your game is over. No need to hide, caught in the truth where you'll collide. Baba, fake girl trying to escape fate. Just another trickster meeting your date. You think you'll vanish, a fleeting charade, but mirrors shatter, exposing the facade. Reality whispers, the truth prevails. Caught in a lie, the illusion fails. Caught in a lie, and I know why. You think you'll disappear, but have no fear. You're here to stay, and no one believes you today. Bye-bye! Fake out! Freak out! Scapegoat! Just another snake float!
Are you ready for me?
On the stripper pole, laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. He ain't no Saint Germain, no crown, no name. He plays the game sharp as a flame. Who's to blame for the stolen fame? A shadow dance in the devil's frame. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on a stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. Falling fast, can't find the ground. Echoes of chaos all around. You chose this dance, this mad parade, but not every choice gets accolades. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Going down the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole.
I want to take a moment to explain why I've been documenting and reporting a recent situation that directly affects me and why this matters behind any one person. Over the last several days, David Shurter has used a fundraising campaign and a series of blog posts to make increasingly serious claims. What began as a general narrative about unnamed opposition has escalated into public accusations against named individuals, including me. In multiple posts tied to his fundraising efforts, Shurter has accused real people of crimes such as harassment, child trafficking, and even involvement in murder plots. These are statements of fact, not opinion, but they are presented without evidence, without police reports, without court records, and without independent verification. Let me be very clear for the record. These accusations against me are false. They are unsupported, unverified, and untrue. What's especially concerning is the structure of how this unfolded. First, there was a vague claim of persecution by unnamed forces. Then came the framing of an epic battle between good and evil, reinforced by religious language that suggests disagreement itself is proof of guilt or evil intent. After that, which specific names were introduced, real people paired with the most serious criminal allegations imaginable. All of this occurred alongside appeals for financial donations. That progression matters. When accusations are anonymous, they're difficult to assess, but when a creator names specific individuals and alleges serious crimes without evidence, that crosses a line. It creates a real world risk. It invites harassment and exposes innocent people to reputational harm based solely on assertion. In recent posts, Shurter also claimed that unnamed child traffickers may be planning to murder him, and they attributed threatening emails to specific individuals, again without proof. These claims are framed as imminent danger and are used to heighten fear and urgency around fundraising. There is no documentation provided to substantiate these allegations, no law enforcement confirmation, no forensic linkage, no corroboration. This is why I reported the campaign to GoFundMe and other relevant platforms, not as retaliation, but as a documentation. Crowdfunding platforms have policies against harassment, misinformation, and using false allegations to solicit money. Reporting this behavior is about protecting the public record and preventing further harm. I want to emphasize something important. I am not diagnosing anyone. I am not speculating about intent. I am not repeating accusations for shock value. I am documenting what is said, where it was published, who is named, and what evidence is missing. This podcast exists to examine how narratives function online, how fear, belief, and urgency can be used to mobilize audiences, and how quickly vague claims can turn into targeted accusations. When that happens, silence is not neutrality. Context is responsibility. So this episode is that context. I'll continue to document carefully, speak precisely, and separate claims from facts. And I'll continue to do it without amplifying false accusations or contributing to harm, because that's what ethical reporting requires. Welcome to Not My Rabbit Hole today. Hi, Aiken. Good for you, Tere. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to, there's a certain situation happening. I mean, obviously, I'm using something that's happening in my life and an example, but with a real person. And, but this video is also out there for anybody else who may be experiencing libelous and statements about them on GoFundMe or any crowdsourcing campaign. You can report somebody, and you can report them for making libelous statements. And I'm going to go ahead and share David's fundraiser. And this is just being used. I'm using David Shurter as an example of how you can report somebody and what exactly is that David Shurter is doing incorrectly that would make it give you a reason to report him. Here he has, please help me save my house so I don't become homeless. Good title, a sense of urgency. And, there's nothing really to complain about something like that. I mean, basically, if he didn't pay his taxes on his house by March, the lien that was on the house that was purchased by a company in Des Moines, Iowa, could get the deed and then sell that deed for somebody at that low price, and they would own his house, or they could do an auction or a bidding on it. That is like where David was at. Still, though, he would have another year. He would have another 90 days. Let's say he didn't pay it in March. He would have another 90 days to collect the money. And then if that didn't happen, he'd have like another year to potentially take care of either this situation and pay it off, or, by 2027, he would have been required to move out. So it wasn't like, let's say he didn't raise it by Monday, he had to be out by July. This was not that kind of situation for David Shurter. And he has been talking about his taxes and fundraising for his taxes in several of his videos before he actually made a specific GoFundMe for them. Originally, he was asking for about $2,200, but that price has now increased to $4.55K because upon David saying that he received the donations and he made his goal, he said that he wanted to get a computer. However, it has been confirmed by his ex-moderator, Sherilyn, that she did buy a computer for him. So he was already in possession of a new computer. Okay, so he's basically misrepresenting his need to extend his GoFundMe. Now, this isn't all that has been said on his YouTube channel, his most recent YouTube channel, like a couple of days ago, like about 48 hours ago, he announced that he had made his goal, and now he had increased it to 4.5K because he needed a new computer. But it is public knowledge, or there is an allegation from his ex-moderator that she already purchased him a computer. Now, if you look on the right too, you see that there's two $1,000 donations that are anonymous, and the first one came in 4 days ago, and the last one came in 3 days ago, and the other ones were just relatively small donations, not anonymous. And let's see all of them, and the people have publicly said their names pretty much. Let me move this here a bit. Okay. There were some $10 and $5 anonymous donations. And when you are donating, when you do donate, you can choose to be private. And that there's nothing. So there's a little symbol here saying donation protected. I'm not really sure what that means, but I'm going to show you where the violation happens for libelous. Okay. He starts out here, my name is David Shurter, and I'm trying to save myself from becoming homeless due to back property taxes. I've been trying to expose my family's involvement with child trafficking in Omaha, Nebraska since 2007, and this work will cease if I'm unable to prevent myself from becoming homeless. And all that is reasonable. I mean, it wouldn't be like it's going to happen tomorrow. If you're raising about $2,200 and you have some sort of need like this, it would beg to reason that he would eventually, probably by March, easily raise that money. Raising a couple grand for a crisis like this is really not that difficult. And so he goes on. I have a blog, davidshurter.com, have he says love written a book. He needs to correct that. Have written a book, Rabbit Hole, a satanic abuse survivor story. I have a documentary on YouTube entitled David's Story, and I'm battling every day, even now, against a group that is desperate to shut me up. And so, he's mentioning a group, okay? And when you look at the video, the video doesn't really name names, but he mentions a lot of things that are attached to false accusations against people that aren't responsible for it. And so, even though in the video he's not saying anybody's name, it could be linked online in that situation. But when you get down to here, it's really his updates that are incriminating. And so this one's not bad. I mean, he's saying he's celebrating, he's showing receipts and he's celebrating the donations. And he says that, I guess that's a receipt that he paid his taxes and he's okay. And he says, I want to thank everyone who helped me. I'm no longer in jeopardy of losing my home. And I just want to thank all of you and ESP, especially God, for helping me with this. It has spurred me to fight this child trafficking mess even harder. So, he's mentioning the child trafficking, but you come down to here, and on February 2nd, he said, my opposition is completely focused on me. It's an epic battle between good and evil. But God always told us if we take a stand for the word, heaven protects our spirit. So Tere Joyce calls me unsolicited during my YouTube live broadcast this morning. And he, puts a link here on it. And when you go to the link, which I could show you, but I'm not going to right now, there are things linked to it about that basically calls me, or it says that I'm associated with child traffickers. Okay. Here, and by the way, my phone call to him, yes, he wasn't expecting my phone call. Yes, it was happening in the middle of the podcast where he was defaming me. But I asked him to cease and desist from his malicious harassment and defamation from me on the internet. You can go to that link and hear me saying it, asking him, please cease and desist. I am asking you for a public apology and removal of all defamation on your blog and your YouTube channel. And, if you do not stop, I will be filing a civil harassment suit. That is the message that I sent to him. And there is nothing illegal about me calling him and leaving that message. And, he's been doing some videos about how did she find my phone number? It's really easy to find your phone number, David. It's listed on any been verified or all kinds of links of your phone, of his phone number or possible phone numbers. How do people get my number? How did somebody text me with a 712 area code telling me I need to be quiet, which is David Shurter's area code? How did that happen? So, but here he is. He's using or misrepresenting what's really happening between me and him and vilifying me, bringing God into the equation. And this is part of his update for his crowdsourcing campaign. All right, here, January 31st. This all just happened yesterday. Murders, liars, and child traffickers. Oh my. And, he's, again, in here, you will find people being named. January 30th. This is what I'm experiencing in my life right now with all of yesterday's correspondence. I think the child traffickers are planning on murdering me. And then here it is with, all that stuff about, the hitman stuff and all this kind of stuff, right? Then you get to January 29th, the night before I was inundated by a bunch of threats in my email. And then it's about Geo being up late at night and being drunk. So he's using, like, he started his campaign in this group that is desperate for me to become homeless. Thank you all who are able to help. So we're a group. We've been named in the updates. And, he's saying Gio is a drunk and that he's been emailing him all night long on January 29th. Okay? Now, I mean, these are expanded allegations, it's gone from, unnamed opposition to multiple named individuals, publicly accused at least two real people. So David has publicly accused at least two real people of harassment, child trafficking, participation in murder or murder plots, framed these accusations as imminent threats to his life, linked these claims directly to fundraising appeals, used religious and apocalyptic language to frame disagreement or denial as the evidence of evil. This represents a major escalation from the earlier content, right? Named individuals now falsely implicated: Tere, Joyce, me. In earlier updates, January 31st to February 1st, Shurter publicly accused you of harassment, publicly accused you of child trafficking, provided no evidence, relied solely on assertion and narrative framing. These allegations are false, unsupported, and potentially defamatory. Third party, Geo Farnsworth. In the January 28th and 30th posts, Shurter attributes threatening emails to Farnsworth, suggests intoxication, up late drunk as motive. These are within the links that he's sharing in it. Implicitly links him to broader child trafficker group, suggests that this group may be planning to murder. Again, no evidence is presented, no law enforcement confirm is cited, no forensic linkage is shown between emails and the named individual. This is serious third-party false attribution. Why this is extremely important? This is no longer vague or symbolic language. Earlier, they, opposition, child traffickers. Now, there are named people, specific criminal acts, implied imminent violence. This crosses from belief-based narrative into claims of fact about identifiable individuals. The murder eminence framing, statements like, I think the child traffickers are maybe planning on murdering me, serve several functions: escalate fear and urgency, justify emergency fundraising, discourage skepticism, questioning equal siding with murderers, prime audience for defense or retaliatory thinking. This is crucial. Bullet point this. There is no evidence. No evidence is provided that a murder plot exists. The rhetorical pattern that David Shurter uses matters, and this is why. Across the post, the structure is consistent. He claims emotional distress, receipt of threatening communications, shots asserted, not verified, attribution of authorship to named individuals, expansion to a coordinated group, claim of existential threat, homelessness, or death, fundraising appeal immediately following. This is a known online escalation pattern, and it is documentable. Okay. So we're going to be right back. And I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to show you how to report this when you get onto the site. And play a song in between. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Not My Rabbit Hole. So we're going to get back onto David's fundraiser, showing you as an example of how you can report a fundraising campaign right from the page that is the campaign. So I want to make sure you can see that. Okay. All right, great. So what you want to do is you want to scroll down. You scroll down to where it's to the bottom, and it says report fundraiser. Okay, and it's going to take you to this page, and it says what it means to report a fundraiser. GoFundMe is dedicated to empowering people to help others while making sure our platform is safe and secure. Fortunately, fraud on GoFundMe is rare, and if someone creates a fundraiser with the intention to mislead donors or our team takes swift action. And it goes on. I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but you can see for yourself when you make your report. So it says click an option below to report a fundraiser. And it gives you different options like donor, request a refund, and report a fundraiser you donated to. For me, that doesn't apply. Beneficiaries, report a fundraiser you are owed funds from, doesn't apply. Okay, so here, report a fundraiser only. This is the one that you want to pick. All right, and it's going to take you to the next page, which I'm going to have to change here. It didn't go over. It's okay. So this is where it is, where you the page that it takes you to. So I'm going to put in, since everybody knows my full name, Teresa Joyce Randolph. Okay. All right. So I do not live in the UK or the EU. Wait, like, what is it? I mean, I just want to make sure. Wait, am I in the EU? No, I'm not in the EU. Yeah, no, I'm not in the EU. Okay, so you don't want to like, unless you're a trusted flagger, meaning that you are working with GoFundMe to flag accounts that don't look like no, I'm not a trusted flagger. I don't, right? So it says put in your email address. I'm going to put in my Hollywood Hemptress email address. HollywoodHemptress@gmail.com. By the way, that is linked to my PayPal if you ever do want to give me support or donation for Not My Rabbit Hole. That's where you can do it. And if you have done it or do it, thank you very much. You can also give me a super chat or super thanks if you happen to like this video. And if you find this video informative, that you think it's going to be helpful for yourself and other people, please do like and share. I will be making shorts out of this too as well, which is going to condense what I'm doing. Okay, so do you know the fundraiser organizer? And it gives you the option. And I say, yes, I do know them. How do you know the organizer? All right. And I'm going to say they are a YouTuber whom is defaming me on his channel and writing about me on his blog. Okay. Actually, I don't know if do I know him? I know him from online. I'm a beneficiary. I'm a donor. I'm an individual concerned about this fundraiser. You know what? I'm going to say that I don't know David Shurter because, yeah, but I've left him a phone call. So I would say the phone call probably signifies an attempt for like personal contact. So I'm going to say, yeah, I do know him. Plus, I'm going to be filing a harassment suit against him. I mean, a civil suit against him. So, what best describes the situation? So you drop down, and here's an option: fundraiser contains libelous statements, and that's what, and it does. And then it's going to say which statements are libelous and why. And I already have something prepared for this. I have sort of I might modify this a little bit, but I'm going to copy and paste it in that area. Hold on. Give me just a second here. I'm pulling it up because, I'm prepared. Okay. Maybe it's that one. Wait. Hold on. Here it is. Come on. Sorry, I didn't mean to take this long. I'll probably have to edit this part out. Okay. Here it is. I copied and pasted in there, but here's what I said. I'm reporting this GoFundMe campaign because it is being promoted through false and harmful accusations against named individuals, including myself. The fundraiser creator David Shurter has used campaign updates and linked blog posts to accuse real people of serious crimes such as child trafficking, harassment, and involvement in murder plots without evidence. These allegations are unsubstantiated, unsupported by law enforcement or court records, and presented as statements of fact. They are directly tied to fundraising appeals and framed in a way that creates fear, urgency, and emotional distress among potential donors. Initially, wait. Well, here, let me, it's hard for me to read it from there. Let me just read it from here. I'm reporting this GoFundMe campaign because it is being promoted through false and harmful accusations against named individuals, including myself. The fundraiser creator David Shurter has used campaign updates and linked blog posts to accuse real people of crimes and of serious crimes such as child trafficking, harassment, and involvement in murder plots without evidence. These allegations are unsubstantiated, unsupported by law enforcement or court records, and presented as statements of fact. They are directly tied to fundraising appeals and framed in a way that creates fear, urgency, and emotional distress among potential donors. Initially, the campaign referred to unnamed opposition, but later it escalated to naming specific individuals and attributing criminal conduct to them. No documentation or independent verification is provided. I'm requesting GoFundMe review this campaign for harassment, defamation, misinformation, and misuse of the platform to solicit funds through false allegations. And so then, what you do is you just, to the best of my knowledge, I certify that the information I provided is accurate and complete. I am not a robot. And then you just submit your claim. And somehow I have missed something. Oh, I have to put my phone number in there. And because of that, I am going to remove my tab, but let me complete this. Okay. And it is submitting right now. And I have been sent an email. And the email says, it just immediately emailed me. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Our trust and safety team will be investigating the fundraiser and taking appropriate action. Please note your report will remain confidential and will not be shared with the fundraiser organizer or beneficiary. If you donated to this fundraiser and you would like, and then it goes on, if you individual should receive funds. And then it goes on. So, you're going to get an email back. You should be getting an email back after you do it. So that is how you report, on GoFundMe if you think that the person someone's crowdsourcing or not being honest in their campaign, or they're abusing you and they're making up false allegations to procure those donations. Now, I want to go really quickly before we finish. I'm going to go into a few things about what Sarah Rachel Adam posted that coincides with David. Okay. I can see some of my other posts, but that's okay. So this is kind of interesting. I'm glad that I'm showing this one too. Sarah Mate put this on her social media, and she says, she's sharing somebody else's post originally, like a sort of a Cinderella thing. And, this person's saying those people who always swear the post is about them. And then she says, yes, they are, though. And she puts Carissa, Tere, and Haley. So when she's talking about what we think that she's saying about us, she's basically saying, yeah, I am saying that about you. And so I would say that this particular post is about me, too, where she threatens Stephen Cambion and myself of things. I'm still trying to pull it up here. That's David Shurter sharing his blog. And okay, so Sarah's broke. Okay. And then here it is. Why is Stephen Cambion, who has kids in a group with a pedo? Has anyone researched this? And this woman is posting about how she has pictures on her phone of kids, which is highly disturbing. And why do I have to make such sure the kids of these people are safe? And why would they be connected to such people? I'm so over having to watch over children in this community, and for years now. And so she goes on, okay, let me finish it. I'm so over having to watch over children in this community, and for years now, I've had to help rescue kids from abuser. And if you're not some perverted creep, you will not be friends with such people. And he knows, because he saw my posts about his woman talking about giving her 5-year-old to an adult man, and she's one of Tasha's good friends. And yet Steve, a journalist, is so silent. Well, he claims to be one. He isn't, though. And he's literally, let me see. He's literally in a group. One, he isn't, though. And he's literally in a group with her. So basically, she's basically saying that Stephen is with Sewertown. All right. Should I send everything to his wife? I'm going to send more evidence to the Child Protection Services, because there's no telling what these people are into. I myself refuse to be connected to anybody who has exploited a child, and I find it sus that when somebody is friends with a pedo. So she's basically saying Stephen Cambion is friends with me, and I'm a pedo, and she's repeating exactly David Shurter's defamation of me having something on my cell phone, accusing me of saying it, and I never said it. And all the while, he has been doing this GoFundMe campaign, and he's basically making money off of defamatory comments. And Sarah Rachel Adams did offer him $5,000 to take me down. And, there's a couple $1,000 posts in there. I know that Sarah is not totally broke. She's able to get money. I'm wondering who, did somebody give her, the ability to do a couple $1,000 anonymous donations for David Shurter for her benefit. I don't know, like, let's think about it. Let's put on a little thinking caps. I know I'm being a conspiracy theorist at the moment, but you got to theorize who would have the money to just cop over $2,000 donations. What is, I mean, like, that's a lot of money. $1,000. You would have money just to give away like that it wouldn't really matter. Well, a guy named Brian Sang is somebody who would have something like that. Sarah pays people to bully people. She pays people for information. I've had this verified by people that have worked with her before. Okay, so are those allegations are true? I would say possibly so. And if there is a flow of money in somebody's GoFundMe because somebody has an agenda with somebody that is reporting on them for being a scammer, new age, fake super soldier psychic power person that nearly killed a celebrity's offspring in a mushroom ritual. Oh, I would think that maybe somebody like Sarah Rachel Adams would be that desperate to do something like that. A lot of people, like when I was growing up, I had a commercial agent one time that, my mom was coming and visiting me in Pasadena, and I wanted her, this agent was in Pasadena. I got a commercial through her. I got a couple commercials through her, but she told this to my mom. She said, your daughter she's like Judy Holliday. She's like a Judy Holliday born yesterday quality to her. And I don't know if you're, familiar with there's been two versions of it. There's Born Yesterday, the original one that starred Judy Holliday, and the other one was redone with, Melanie Griffith. And the character, she's like this 1930s, 1940s, like showgirl past her prime a little bit. And she talks real high like this, and she's kind of stupid, and everybody thinks she's really dingy. Has this sort of like dingbat personality. Now Melanie Griffith played her more updated, but she had this airy voice, and she was, she was living with a bad man, a mob boss. But the character that character is way smarter than most people in the room. She's just not educated. And so, there's this man who's a detective that falls for her and educates her. And then she's the one to bust everybody and like come out on top. And in a way, like, it's taken me a long time to figure that out, but I think maybe I might have a little, I know why I have that quality, but that ain't happening anymore, bitches, because I'm Tere Joyce, motherfuckers. Laughing loud all for the love, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. He ain't no Saint Germain, no crown, no name. He plays the game sharp as a flame. Who's to blame for the stolen fame? A shadow dance in the devil's frame. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. Fast, can't find the ground. Echoes
force of chaos all around. You chose this dance, this mad parade, but not every choice gets accolades. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole, laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Going down the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole, laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole.